This is George Dionne with Metal Express Radio, and I'm here with Holly from Hydrogyn. How are you today, Holly?
Hi, I'm doing great, George. How are you?
Good. Do you go by your first name, Holly, or do you use your full name?
I just go by Holly. I've answered to a lot of things before, but Holly is preferred.
Excellent. I ask every band the same question. If I knew absolutely nothing about Hydrogyn, how would you describe the band's music to me?
If mainstream rock and metal had a baby, I think it would be Hydrogyn. We have a lot of heavy riffs. A lot of the writing, it sort of kind of has a little bit of a metal background. And I don't mean like, black metal or anything like that, but just a very heavy vibe. And then I've always been a more melodic singer. I don't do a lot of heavy, super aggressive, screamy type vocals or anything. So, I guess that's about the best I would describe it. Sort of hard rock. I guess it would fall into that genre. That was a generic answer, huh?
No. Everybody got a different interpretation. I've heard crazier answers, trust me. Your new album, The Boiling Point, comes out on October 30th.
Yeah.
Now, Hydrogyn's had a couple different lineups. What can listeners expect from the new album?
So, as any singer does, I bring kind of my own thing to the band. The previous vocalists in Hydrogyn were amazing. I mean, I can't say enough good things about Julie and then, of course, Erica. They were amazing. I'm different. Julie was she had a very melodic vocal style. Erica kind of brought a more aggressive vocal style. I'm somewhere in between. I kind of bring what I hope is the best of both worlds.
The first single you guys released is Disappear. Do you want to talk a little bit about what the theme is behind that song?
Yeah, so Disappear is one of the songs on the album that I did not write the vocal or the lyrics for. In fact, I think it's the only one on the album that I didn't write lyrically. That one was written by Jeff and Scott, I can't think of his last name, in the original Westlake band back in the early 2000s. So Disappear, I believe, was written kind of from the standpoint of like, you have this horrible, terrible breakup with somebody that, it was like this controlling relationship. And then years later down the road or whatever, you run into them and they're like, hey, what's up? And you kind of give them the middle finger and move on about your business. So my idea about lyrics is kind of, I think, what a lot of artists' idea is. It's really up to the listener to make their own interpretation of what each song is about. And so I sort of took my own spin when it came to the video that we also just released for Disappear. And it's kind of more along the lines, the video is of, nobody can dictate what my future is except for me. And so there's a lot of fortune tellery kind of situations going on in that video. But yeah, like I said, it's kind of, each song is sort of up to the listener to determine their own interpretation.
While I was going through your Facebook page, I saw that Disappear wasn't the only video that you were filming. What other songs are you filming videos for?
Yeah, so we have recently wrapped up production on a video for a song called Damaged Goods, which I believe that's going to be the next single to drop. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I believe so. Damaged Goods was written by Jeff and myself over the course of the last year. And then the other video that we also just wrapped up is a cover that we did of Mad World. It's something that my husband and I both really wanted to cover that song for a long time because it's just it makes such a powerful, impactful statement. And so we put our own spin on the song Mad World and shot a video for that one as well. So that's what we've just finished wrapping up. And then we have a couple more videos kind of in the works now as far as all the treatments and screenplays and stuff being written out. So we are busy.
Are there any songs on the new album that you're particularly proud of? I mean, I know that the whole album is your baby, but
Sure.
are there any songs that, stand out above the crowd to you?
Yeah, one of my favorite tracks on the album was actually one of the first ones that we wrote when we came up with the title for The Boiling Point, and it's called Tragic. It has a very different feel, really, than a lot of the rest of the album. I'm super proud of it lyrically. I'm super proud of it musically. I can't wait for that one to come out.
Couldn't find in the press materials who produced the album. Did you guys produce the album?
Yeah. So my husband, Jacob Freed, who plays bass for the band, he did most of the recording and mixing here in our studio in Harvest, Alabama. And then Jeff did a lot. It was kind of a group effort. Things were passing along the lines, the email lines and the phone lines and everything between Alabama and Ohio, and Scott Clayton here in Alabama as well. He had a hand in the mastering. It was a band effort.
So the album was a band effort all the way through then. It was songwriting, producing, mixing, all that stuff.
Yes, absolutely. And, and it's something that Jeff and I it's kind of been in the works for a really long time. We just didn't know it. Jeff and I have known each other for a little over a decade now. And, there were always different things going on. He had his previous lineup of Hydrogyn going on. I had a couple of bands that I was in. We always knew we wanted to work together. We just didn't know when or how it was going to happen. And so when the opportunity arose at the end of last summer, we just decided this is going to be an all-out band effort. We're going to get all hands involved and create this Boiling Point. And now what album is called The Boiling Point.
Now, do you guys have any tour dates on the books for next year? Or is that kind of a wait and see thing because of COVID?
Yeah, exactly. That's a wait and see thing. All of us are sitting on the edge of our seat waiting until restrictions are lifted and venues are open and things are kind of put in motion to where we can actually start booking stuff. I know that the guys over at RFL are working really hard to go ahead and kind of get preliminary things set up so that when we can pull the trigger, we'll be ready. So we're antsy, ready to get out there, but it's just, COVID is COVID. So, yeah.
Speaking of RFL Records, did you guys shop the album to them or did they discover you?
They came to us with it. Jeff has been involved in RFL for a number of years. And when they got wind of his new lineup with Hydrogyn and the new material that was coming out, they absolutely, came to us and said, you're ours.
That's good. A little heavy-handed, but that's good.
Yeah. We didn't mind it.
That's right. Prior to joining Hydrogyn, you were in a band with your husband, Jacob, Angel's Revenge?
That's right, yeah.
Was that similar music or different music?
It was similar. I would say that it probably had a little bit more of a metal spin because Jacob did most of the writing for Angel's Revenge, and he has a very interesting, heavy taste in music, which is cool because he's kind of what helps to bring that spin to our current lineup. Jacob, it's funny, he's really big into like Viking metal and all these interesting genres that you don't really hear a lot in the mainstream. And that's kind of, we weren't Viking-y, but that's kind of the spin that Angel's Revenge took. It was a lot heavier, way more aggressive vocals. It tore my throat up half the time, but yeah. I'm very happy to be using my melodic voice again. Let's just say that.
So did you guys have a big Viking wedding?
No, our little wedding was just so traditional and Southern and Alabama.
Oh, okay. I was reading you didn't always sing hard rock and melodic rock and stuff like that. You used to sing country and gospel music.
I sure did. Yeah, my mother my mother was an amazing singer. I lost my mother when I was 20 years old, so it's been a minute since I was with her, but she brought me up, listening to gospel music in church. We would sing a cappella gospel music. She had a beautiful alto voice. My sister-in-law had a soprano voice. My daddy was the deepest bass you could ever. He had a thundering voice. My brother as well. I was just raised in a musical family, and we were brought up in church singing gospel hymns. And then the fact that I'm from small town USA, country music was the thing when I was growing up in my town. And so I branched out from gospel into country, and from country into more soft rock type stuff, and like Journey and Heart started creeping in, and Pat Benatar. And then I was like, wait a minute, I like rock and roll. So yeah, it just kind of evolved. But yeah, my roots are definitely in gospel and country, and I still love those genres too.
So would you say that it was more of an evolution, or you got into rock and roll as sort of a rebellion?
I wouldn't call it a rebellion. I would call it a need for more.
Yeah.
I love to explore my voice, and as long as I've been singing, I still like to, sit around in the house when nobody else is home and just kind of experiment and see, what things can I do with my voice? And, God gave me this talent. How much did he give me? So it was kind of an exploratory thing. I just kind of started seeing what all I could do vocally, and then just the fact that I loved the music. And I credit Ann Wilson for that, because I think I heard my first Heart song when I was in, I don't know, middle school or something. And I was just like, okay, I want to be her.
Probably every female singer that I've interviewed all give praise to Heart and the Wilson sisters as where they got inspired to sing rock music.
Yeah, they're just amazing.
Thank you for speaking with Metal Express Radio today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on.